Match 3. Pat Ubergods. Or Patubergods. One or the other. Ooh. So opponent's on Lurus of the Dream Den. This hand does not have a 1-drop. So this is either Arcanist or Auras. And this hand is bad against both. So I am going to mulligan. Going to keep this. That's a fair bit better. What do I put back? I think it's just Pelt Collector. I think I need to keep interaction and a threat in both of these matchups to have any semblance of a chance. Is Arcanist, which is arguably worse with the hand we have, because we get Thoughtseize to take our only threat, and we are in danger. Yeah, that's not great. So Snake is a reasonable enough draw. At least gives us a creature to mess with, but we're unlikely to have the pleasure of... Okay, opponent has an Archfiend's Vessel list and misses their second land. So I'm going to say Snake and go. I'm pretty sure their hand has to contain Claim, right? They just have to have the card Claim in their hand, otherwise... Yeah. Hey, Ryan. I'm glad you're back. Nice to see you. Village rights away my Snake because you drew a land? Yeah, that's not great. Eating with one earbud in. That does not sound like the most pleasurable of experiences, I'll be honest. Opponent's draw has lined up pretty well against ours so far. We established last time this matchup seems quite hard. Slightly different build from my opponent. Hopefully it makes the matchup a bit easier for us. Thoughtseize again, takes the Lurish, of course. Opponent kept an interesting one for sure and has drawn back-to-back lands. Yikes. I guess it's just Pulse in this scenario. Yeah, opponent's draw steps have lined up pretty darn well for them, that's for sure. I think I just got to keep passing here. Unfortunately, they've just Thoughtseized away all of our threats. And that's not a good spot to be in. Stitcher Supplier, sure. Yeah, we really don't interact very well in this matchup. Maybe I still need the third cage, or like Soul Guide Lantern. I knew they had a claim in their hand when they kept a 1-lander with an Archfiend's Vessel. They just had to have a claim. I found it very hard to believe they didn't. Is that what? My opponent had 3 Thoughtseizes. Jesus Christ. I know there's like a comfy Bernie meme going around because of how comfortable he looked at the inauguration, but I don't know why it's being tied to MTG specifically. That one is, I'm afraid, beyond me. Land into Croxer seems unbeatable at this particular point. Yeah, why wouldn't they? Opponent kept a 1-lander and drew everything they needed, which is a little unfortunate with the hand that we kept. They just Thoughtseized away all of our threats, and we're a little bit stuck here. Like, I can trade for the Crocs, but it doesn't really get me anywhere because they have a Stitcher Supplier and 4 cards in the graveyard already. Well, I'll eat this for free. Well, not technically dead, so I'll keep going. This matchup does seem very difficult. Nice. Opponent's draw was pretty damn phenomenal. I would argue they had the perfects. So let's try and make sure that's not the case in games number 2 and 3. Yeah, fingers crossed. I don't like Thoughtseize in this matchup at all, I'll be honest. Bloodchief's Thirst is more than fine. Maelstrom Pulse is very expensive. I think this is a Conclave Mentor matchup as well. So I guess I'm happy to keep like a Thoughtseize over the third one of these. Yeah. I don't know. I'm actually trying to think about how I would remedy this matchup. Like, part of me just wants to slap more cages in my sideboard. But I also feel like the deck is extremely well tuned against cage these days. Like, they have like so many answers in a braid. Even like Angrath's Rampage and stuff that like, I'm not sure it's the way to go. This hand is obviously very good, so we will keep. No doubt about that. Hand is good. Alright, Pelty Boy. Thanks for teaching me the trick of using liquid metal coating on cards so you can become a 4/4 attack. Just killed an Ashiok with it and it felt so nice. Is this real? Leyline? What Leyline? I mean, oh, you mean for the matchup? I guess I could try Leyline of the Void, maybe. That's a good shout, honestly, Lord. I hadn't thought about it. That might be okay. They take my cage, which is a little concerning. I'm going to try and curve out. Yeah, it's way more impactful. I think you might be right. They have a Friends list now? It has been a while, right? I can't really do that. I guess I have to side out Lurrus for Leyline. That might be okay. But I would have to do it. I'm going to grab Lurrus to try and get my cage back next turn. Opponent can block if they want. I would really like to Lurrus into cage. Next turn, so hopefully there's no Thoughtseize in my future. Abrades the Pelt Collector, sure. You got the Fatal Push as well, or the Thoughtseize as well. Tilt. Tilt? Alright, well, Big Snake. It's weird because you've not been seeing any Arcanists lately, and it was 0 in the league weekend. Yeah, we've played against it twice today. That's not like a massively large amount. But I'll be honest, the matchup seems real hard. Does seem actively quite bad. They interact in a very profitable manner. Why would you not pick Sacrifice an Artifact in this spot? Why would you ever Angrath's Rampage creature there? Why? I am legitimately confused. Alright, well, moving on. Opponent will block, they'll take 4, go to 2. Knight of the Ebon Legion will get slightly larger. I'm going to hold on to this Temple Garden to play around Kroxa. Off you go. Game number 3 it is again. We're going to a lot of game 3s tonight. Wins and losses. Awful lot of game 3s. Awful lot. I'm not sure how I feel about Leyline. I'm still kind of thinking about that. It is very, very impactful in the matchup, but I guess it's not worth sacrificing Lurrus and cutting Cage unless Arcanist suddenly becomes like best deck in format. This hand is fine. It really doesn't want to get Thoughtseize. This is quite bad against Thoughtseize, but otherwise I'm very happy to keep this hand. I am going to lead on Pelty Boy here. I expect they would have Thoughtseized me on 1 if they had it. Does bolt themselves for an Arcanist. Well, I think I'm going to be trying to kick your teeth in which case. Alright, so this is meant to be Cage Pelt Collector, so that my opponent can't flashback a removal spell off this Arcanist. What I need to play around in this spot is, like, let's say I play Snake and attack for 3, they go Fatal Push on Pelt Collector, attack with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and rip me to death. Playing the firstborn is pretty good though. If the Lurrus Recursion is good enough to push Leaking out, is Tormont's Crypt for Recursion worth considering? Push Leyline out, sure. I was like, push Leaking? What is Leaking? Hopefully not me. Maybe Marty. I think I had Soul Guide Lantern in that slot originally, because Soul Guide Lantern's a bit better with Lurrus in terms of just like the drawing cards when you've got nothing else going on. So I think it would probably just be Soul Guide Lantern. Opponent with the Spark Harvest to kill both Pelt Collectors anyway. It's a bit unfortunate. They are flashing that thing back as well. So I guess this is just shock myself, Knight of the Ebon Legion, Snake. Yeah, I think I prefer Soul Guide Lantern, but I think it's something I need to find time to try out at some point. So there is also that. I'm not sure either of these are particularly good, to be honest, but I think this is correct. Luminarch doesn't offer me a good double block on this. Opponent chooses to abrade my snake and not the cage. That is exceptionally concerning. That cannot be good. Let's get in for one. How do you abrade my snake there? What does that mean? What does abrading the snake mean? You didn't play a land. Your hand is just gas. Or the sign of an exceptionally concerned opponent. I mean, yeah, maybe. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm giving my opponent too much credit, Dizon. I don't know. What does that mean? I think that means I'm baffling ending this Arcanist. To me, that feels like second abrade. So I'm going to play around second abrade. Opponent does have the village rights. I don't think I care too much about that. I couldn't beat that at any point anyway. Archfiend's Vessel. Another Arcanist. Scavenging Ooze isn't bad. I'm very scared of my opponent's hand. That being said, I still think I'm meant to just put my hand on the table here. The thing with Playline, or Leyline, I assume, is that when would you want it other than this matchup? That's kind of my problem, yeah. It's kind of why I was thinking about maybe I consider Soul Guide Lantern again in one of the flex slots in the sideboard. Because that is a bit of a more universal tool. Does bedevil the cage, that makes some sense. Yeah, that's roughly what I thought. How do I handle this Arcanist? So, they can flashback Spark Harvest, claim the Firstborn Village rights currently. I can eat 2 of those. This matchup's really interesting. Like, I'm learning a lot. I've quite enjoyed playing it, to be honest. I think what I'm meant to do is counter on the ooze, attack with said ooze. If opponent blocks with Archfiend's Vessel, I have to eat the Archfiend's Vessel. And then I believe what I'm doing is taking 3 damage, leaving a green source up, and putting Luris in my hand. Saying go. Well, I have to eat the other Arcanist in response to that, unfortunately. Which means this one is going to get to kill Scavenging Ooze. Yep. Largely what I expected. Do I trade Luminarch Aspirant to kill this? I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. I didn't have to? What do you mean? Oh, sure, you mean I didn't have to answer Arcanist, sure, but like, if I don't eat the Arcanist with Scavenging Ooze, they use Fame to give the new one haste and attack with 2 copies, and that's significantly worse for me. I think I'm fine with this block. Opponent takes Knight of the Ebon Legion, which is arguably better for me. Lurrus. It seems real greedy to grab this cage back straight away, I'll be honest. I think it's meant to be Snake to start. Opponent fatally pushes Luminarch Aspirant. Okay. Claims back Dreadhorde Arcanist. Wow, this game is interesting. Well, the Scavenging Ooze is happening. It's a very good, very good draw, in fact. Then I think it's just Aspirant again. Load up the Snake. Opponent goes to 7, say go. Does find land number 4. Opponent can attack. What would you like to target with your Arcanist? You'd like to target Claim the Firstborn. I would like to eat it. I guess I don't block. Nice! Okay. Still cooking with gas, folks. Still cooking with gas.